So I'm Samantha Abrahams, owner of Home for Wellness in Riverside, Connecticut, where I offer Pilates and MELT method instruction, facilitate intuitive listening, and offer body work, including Jin Shin Jyutsu. And today I'm going to talk to you about sharing healing touch with your beloved animal companion. This is my beloved animal companion, Mushy Love Bunny. Normally call him Mush or Mushy. And he is an 8-year-old, supposedly mini English bulldog, all 50 pounds of him, mostly head and face. And he'll be helping me demonstrate a very simple Jin Shin Jyutsu application today. So he's my co-facilitator. Um, so that all of you can get started with your cat or dog. He'll be helping me, sorry about that, demonstrate a very simple Jin Shin Jyutsu application today so that all of you can get started with your cat and dog or whatever furred or four-legged family member or friend you'd like to work with today, or when you rewatch the video later. So Jin Shin Jyutsu is a light touch healing art. Jin Shin Jyutsu is the healing art of awareness and getting to know yourself, or in our case today, getting to know your animal companion. I've always been a huge animal lover, and I've always had a great appreciation for the unique connection and relationship we get to share with animals. I was first introduced to Jin Shin Jyutsu about 13 years ago at Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Utah, where I was attending a week-long workshop on how to start an animal sanctuary. A Jin Shin Jyutsu self-help class was offered during one of the breaks, and I found it to be profoundly calming and relaxing, and I was also really excited about the idea of being able to offer Jin Shin Jyutsu to animals. While I was there, I learned that I actually didn't want to start an animal sanctuary, because what I really was interested in was working with animals and people together and exploring how they could share in a mutually beneficial healing experience. I've studied a lot of different energy-based healing arts and modalities over the years, and I really love sharing Jin Shin Jyutsu because it's a healing art that focuses on simplicity and effortlessness. I can give my clients and students Jin Shin Jyutsu homework that they can start practicing right away to help themselves, or as we're doing today, help their animal companions. And they don't have to really know a whole lot about the deeper philosophy. You know, one of my favorite things I heard from my teachers early on is the only way Jin Shin Jyutsu won't help you is if you don't do it. And that's something that really stuck with me, that you don't have to worry about getting it right or the correct way or trying hard. You just connect to yourself, to your animal, and offer this beautiful healing art of harmonizing and receiving and being with. So today you'll be connecting with your beloved animal companion and offering the art of Jin Shin Jyutsu to help them harmonize their life energy. So it's, again, not something you're doing. It's helping them do what they can naturally do to balance their body, mind, and spirit. And a couple basic concepts in Jin Shin Jyutsu is that harmonizing happens through the breath. Again, so beautifully simple that if you can breathe, you can heal. And that dis-ease and disharmony aren't caused by what's lacking, but by what has overaccumulated or built up or become stagnant and needs to be released so that the natural flow of universal life force energy can move freely through the body and provide your whole being with vitality. So before we get started, consider that typically you want to share a session at a time and in a space that will allow your animal to feel safe and secure. With Mushy, for example, this is usually in the evening when he's already been fed and is already sort of winding down for the night. I tried working with him just before his mealtime, and it seems to go against his internal clock, where he's focused and excited about being fed. It's not easy for him to settle, so that has not been an ideal time. And today I'm working with Mushy in what I call his throne, but I most prefer working with him on the couch in our living room when he curls up in my lap and is already fairly relaxed, a little sleepy. And at that time, he tends to be very receptive, which also makes it a really enjoyable experience for me too. You can trust that your animal will let you know when they've had enough. Sometimes they'll get up and resettle, or sometimes they'll get up and go into another room. And that's an indication that they got what they needed. Animals can be much more instinctual and in tune with their bodies and energy. They don't have or need a language to make sense of it, because usually their present experience is enough to understand what they need to know. Being alert and paying attention is so natural to them. So really honor the innate wisdom your animal has to receive what it needs and dictate the time frame on their own terms. Eventually, as you get to know their patterns, you get better at listening to how and what they communicate to you. You can establish Jin Shin Jyutsu practice as a part of a daily routine where you and your animal can spend quality time or harmonizing time together. So to start, you're going to connect your hands to 2 safety energy locks, and I'll explain what that means after I show you, again, with Mushy's help, where to place your hands. And it doesn't matter which hand you place where. As much as you want your animal to be comfortable, you also want your own body to be in a comfortable, effortless position. So your first hand is going to connect to safety energy lock 10. And so I'm feeling for Mushy's shoulder blades here, and I can rest my palm here, or even just connect with my fingertips into this area at kind of the middle of the shoulder blades and just in between. There's safety energy lock 10 on the right side and on the left side. So just placing my hand here is covering both of them. And then the other position is on the front of his chest. That's where safety energy lock 13. So if I wasn't wanting to face you, the most comfortable position would be to face him and just kind of sandwich him, his upper back with one hand and his chest with the other. And you can continue to hold this position. Again, fingertips are just fine too. Sometimes even just hovering over. So it can be a very light touch, especially for animals that are really sensitive or have areas of their body that are really sensitive. So you guys can keep holding, and I'm going to face you again, just so I don't have my back turned to you. So holding safety energy lock 10 and 13 is a great way to introduce Jin Shin Jyutsu to your animal. It's a wonderful initial connection and centering hold that you can begin every session with before going on to a more specific flow. And it's also an easy, non-invasive step that can be a session all by itself. So what are we doing here when we're holding safety energy lock 10 and 13? more than anything, we're simply being with this beautiful life that we call our friend or our family. Now, if you just focused on that, you would truly give your animal a wonderful session. But to give you a little bit more explanation, the safety energy locks are energy centers on the right and left sides of the body. There are 26 in total that can lock up or become blocked when they're overloaded with physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, or even digestive stress. These areas lock up as a way to make you aware of blockages or stuck energy that can disrupt the harmonious flow of life energy in the body's energy circulation pathway as a whole. You can think of it like a warning signal to pay attention and change your ways to prevent further damage or accumulation. And as you get to know where your animal is holding stress or pain or tension, you may get insights about what they may need to restore balance and feel better. You know, simple things like more or less activity or stimulation, a small change in their diet, or maybe they get too many treats. Maybe something's going on that requires a trip to the vet, or maybe they just want more quality one-on-one time with you. These are the things you can start to pick up on more easily when you spend time practicing Jin Shin Jyutsu with your animal and become more skilled at attuning to their needs and listening to the nuance of who they are. So again, you can just do that now as you're holding safety energy lock 10 on the upper back and 13 on us. It would be at the center of the chest. And give yourself permission to be patient and simply be with this being before you, sharing this loving art, the gentle art of harmony, letting the stress drop from your shoulders, remembering you're not doing anything. You are being the observer of the harmonizing of this animal. So allowing your hands, your touch, your contact to be very light and soft. Let your hands be unneedy. Allow your breath to deepen. Well, she's a snorer, so he's helping us remind ourselves of our own breath today. And simply begin to watch for signs of relaxation in your animal or even in yourself. And as you connect to your animal, you're simply being a loving facilitator for positive change in your animal's body. So today, as you're working with your animal companion, you're not responsible for their healing. You are not healing them. It's never actually possible to be responsible for another's healing. Instead, you're simply being with your animal companion with open awareness, allowing this gentle, loving art, working from a quiet, centered place within, and holding the space as an attentive observer for your animal. First and foremost, to just be, and then relax so that they can feel free to release. So listen for the harmony in your animal. Listen with your hands. Sense what you feel. Listen with your eyes and see the beauty of the life before you and the love, kindness, the innocence that is alive within them. Just watch and follow the breath. It's a breath of life that animates their spirit. And you can focus on what you already sense to be in harmony. You can breathe in rhythm with your animal, and together you can let go through the breath of what's not in harmony and healing. Healing will be one of the natural results of that. And where your hand is on the back at Safety Energy Lock 10 is about boundless vitality. The meaning of Safety Energy Lock 10 is I open my heart and let abundance flow. So as you hold this Safety Energy Lock, you allow your animal to open to receive all the good of life, starting with the breath. And opening this area of the upper back and chest allows joy and love to radiate outward. And a strong, open heart can promote a sense of calm, quiet confidence. And then where your other hand is on the front of the chest at Safety Energy Lock 13 helps with expressing, harmonizing, and balancing emotional energy. And the meaning of Safety Energy Lock 13 is creative power comes from the heart. So it's about being open to new ideas or new beginnings, and helps to bring things into form and teaches us about unconditional love. So holding Safety Energy Lock 10 and 13 together balances the exhale, the letting go part of the breath, and the inhale or the receiving part of the breath. So it helps to balance the breathing and open the breathing. It helps with relaxation and immunity and lung issues. Again, the location where these Safety Energy Locks are in the body is in the area of the lungs. So it can also help animals that have allergies, breathing issues. Even being more adept at learning new routines and being able to adjust to new situations. You know, letting go of the old and adapting to the new. And most importantly, it promotes connection. You know, as you're offering Jin Shin Jyutsu to your animal today, your animal's connection to an awareness of itself. It helps your awareness and connection to your animal and your animal's awareness and connection to you. Jin Shin Jyutsu acknowledges that all life is sourced through the universal life force, which means that the same principles and truths that apply to working with people also bring harmony and healing to animals. So today with your animal, working with your animal is a way to show your appreciation and give back to your animal for all the unconditional love, support, levity, joy, and emotional comfort that they so generously provide for you. So I appreciate you letting me share Jin Shin Jyutsu and allowing Mushi to co-facilitate with me today. And now I can answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. That was great. I can't wait to go home and try that on my dog.
Yeah.
Haley, do you have any questions?
I definitely will be doing this tonight. I wish Remy was more receptive to it right now. I got some really nice little love bites. I don't know if you can tell, but he has like major zoomies right now. So tonight, like I normally do a whole thing with him at night where like I cuddle and I give him his whole like speech that I do of like how grateful I am for him.
Oh,
that's a real thing that I do.
Yeah.
So I think this is like the perfect accompaniment to that. So I'm gonna definitely be doing this tonight. Like I said, when he's not a crazy little wildcat.
And again, it's kind of like you can sneak it in with them, because also animals can be very sensitive in a way where when you do something different and they can feel your even your attention. I mean, it's an intention, but they can kind of feel, you know, if you have a more focused attention on them versus just kind of sitting and cuddling on the couch and watching TV and petting them. If you,
Oh, he wants more.
so, you know, they can have a tendency to be like, wait, what are you doing? You know? So even if it's like just having a really, really light touch, and just holding the area, it's just connecting. And that's why I like it a lot, because it's so simple.
So sorry, I had to run around and some stuff came up while this swam, but you mentioned you said there was like the best time to do it. When would you say is the best time to do this with the?
I think when they're already relaxed, you know, it's not like a controlling thing. So it's not like, ooh, I want my dog or cat to stop doing the zoomies or calm down. So I'm going to, like, you know, force him to do it now. It's when they're already sort of calm and relaxed. For example, this is not a time I would normally be working, and Mushy might be, I'm in my office right now, Mushy might be right here doing the exact same thing. But it's not a time that I would actually work with him. So before this, I took him for a walk. I gave him a nice chunk of salmon just so he could, you know, settle, because it's not a time that I would normally work with him.
Right.
But when they're fed, when it's already kind of a quiet time,
Okay.
that's a time when they're going to be most receptive, and especially when you introduce anything new.
So when they're already like laying down,
Yeah,
and relaxed. Okay.
yeah.
Good to know. Cool.
Well, I'm glad I got to see you guys and work with you guys today.